Hi, this is Shalindra and I welcome you to my blog advanced-analytics.blogspot.com. Of late there has been a lot of talk about Australian population and how people have target of around about 35 million in some years and from the current population of 22 million. So I thought it might be a good idea to have a look at what is actually going on and what has actually changed in the past few years to take a look at the data. The data is provided freely at through ABS, which is available at abs.gov.au, and you can download the data. The tool we're going to use today is JMP, which is very easy to use, and we'll walk through and try and visualize the data and then try and do some forecasting on it. So let me go and open Fire JMP, and let me open the Excel file. Let me look out for Excel, and I've got the ABS population data, and I'll just open it. So what I've got in the data, I've got 115 rows, which is the quarterly data from 1981 going up to December 2009. Having a look at the data. Now, the first thing we'll do is, before we visualize, we'll just change the info. Because the data is quarterly, we'll change the format in which we want to look at it to month year, which makes it easy to understand. So the data starts from June of 1981 and goes up to December of 2009. Now my month variable is my label. So let me go and call it as a label. So this is my label, so that whenever I hover around it, I get to see the month. And the other fields that I get is the births, number of births in Australia, net overseas migration, and estimated resident population, which started from 14.5 million in June 1981 and has gone up to 22.15 million in December 2009. So let's quickly go through the data and do some simple visualization. Well, before I start, I must say that all the data is in thousands. So you will see 60,000 births in June quarter 1981, going up to 74,000 in the fourth quarter of 2009. So simply we will go and do some visualization, use the graph builder, our famous graph builder, and drop month onto the x-axis. So it shows me time interval here, which is the months or quarters, if I may call them. And let me have a look and drop the estimated resident population, and see it's a linear growth if you look at it, and it's grown from as I said 14 million to 22 million in around about 20 years. So this is quite good to see, and I can go and have a look at a smoother here, and this is a linear growth here. The other thing what I can do is drop the birth here as well to see how births have changed, and I will also drop the net overseas migration around there, so that I've got all of the three mapped together. I'll just change smoother to a line so I can see what's going on here. I'm done here. So I can see the three lines on the same graph using our graph builder. And I'll go and save this to the table so that we can use it in the future. With an overlay plot, if I go and give x as my month, x-axis as my month interval, and I drop birth and net overseas migration here, and the estimated resident population as well here, I should be able to do this. What it shows me is that over the years, if I look at it and I go and join the points, all I see is that the growth has been pretty much stable, but in the last, I would say, in the 9 quarter, the migration has been the most, and so it has been the most in the quarter of 2008. So you can clearly see that there has been something going on here, that since 2008 the immigration has actually gone really high, whereas the growth is the births in the country have just remained the same. So let me save this as a script as well, so that save this to the data table. So I've got a graph builder and overlay plot. The next thing which I wanted to show you guys or do with you is do a small time series, because we've got here the time series data. We've got the monthly, the quarterly data, and we would use this to build a simple time series model to see what would be the projected population of Australia in a two ways. We would go to analyze, go to modeling, and go to time series. My time ID is the month interval, and I want to know the estimated resident population. I'm going to forecast for 50 quarters thereafter, and I'll just run this. What it shows me is a simple time series, and it says that the mean has been 18 million over these years, with a standard deviation of 1,964,000, so it's 1.9 million. Now, having looked at it, I'll quickly go and do a smoothing model, and I'll do a linear exponential smoothing and just run. The confidence interval I would say would be 95%, and the constraint would be 0 to 1. I'll just simply go and do the estimates, and this is how I see my results. So my linear Holt exponential smoothing model, which has been picked by JMP, has built me this model, and this model has got an R-square of 0.999, which is pretty much accurate in my view. Well, before that I had done the iteration with the linear model itself, but it wasn't that strong, so I've just picked this up after doing a few iterations with all the other available models. The other available models in the time series are ARIMA, seasonal ARIMA, smoothing model, which is a simple exponential model, double exponential, and a linear exponential model, and these are available through JMP. Now once I've done that, I can see my forecast in the next few years, and it's gone up to 2019. If I look at my residual plot, shows that it's pretty strong. It's quite scattered around doing the actuals. Now I can go and save the columns. Once I save the columns, what I get here is for each month I get the actual and the predicted estimated population, and I can go down and see that I can actually go up to 2022, which is May of 2022, and the predicted population coming out of there is 27 million. So the way we are going today, we would have 27 million population in the May quarter of 2022. Let us now again look at the overlay plot to see how my actual and the predicted values look like if they plotted on the same graph. Let me take month as the x-axis, predicted, and the actual here on the y-axis, and say OK. So you can clearly see that the actual and the predicted have actually overlapped up until the current date, which is December 2009. And looking at the data also gives us the upper and the lower confidence, 95% confidence interval. So we expect by 2022 the population will be 29 million or around about 25 million, and that's where we're looking at. I hope you enjoyed today's video tutorial. If you've got any questions, please feel free to email me at shalin.kumar@gmail.com, and please have a look at my website or the blog at www.advanced-analytics.blogspot.com. Thank you. See you soon.